Welcome back to Duoro-3 YouTube channel. Sorry for delay in doing another video. Things have been a bit hectic here. Okay, in today's video we are working on a KOPEK AR-1002 rotator and a controller that I'll show you off the side in a minute. The rotator is normally a 3-wire rotator. I hate 3-wire rotators, and so I've converted it into a potentiometer driven rotator, as well as putting limit switches on it. So, for further ado, we shall have a look at what I've done. So first off, we'll look at the casings. The casings have been glass bead blasted and painted in this hammer tone colour. The clamps themselves have been re-zinc plated in both the bracket as well, so the bracket has been done as well. So they were a bit rusty, but this has been zinc plated, so that's why they look a bit rusty, because they didn't get polished up before they got the zinc plating putting on them. So, and the bearing ring has been done as well, and the bearing ring and all that stuff is in pretty good condition. And I'll get the bottom housing out. As you can see, bottom housing, I've already got my alignment marks on here. So there we go. The inside of this one was glass bead blasted well, so I've actually resealed it with a clear, and then I've actually cleaned up the track here. As you can see, it's slightly shinier. Okay, so the next thing that I've done is I have affixed the shafts into the bottom housing. I like doing this because it makes it so much for assembly, good for assembly, but also these shafts are normally very, very loose and the gears just flop around everywhere. So they were fixed in by the method I normally do with a cold chisel around, splay the bottom, and then press it in with my vise. I then glued in the spaces for the bottom. And basically this one was actually painted because it was in a pretty poor condition, so I've actually just painted this one, took everything apart and painted it. So basically that, and I'll put the hole in for the potentiometer, so I'll show you that. I'm putting a 10-turn potentiometer in, so, and this one has a little mod done to it. I'll put a little, the washer off would be a good idea. I glue on a galvanized washer or whatever I've got around, just to space it down a bit. So that will be going in here, like that. Little mark lines up in here somewhere, and that drives off the gear that drives that gear there. So that's why it's a 10 turn. So, and I have the gear that's going to go on there. So that's just this was a gear from a KR-400 which I've cut down, drive gear. So that's part of that. So I'll put that back on there so I don't lose that washer. Put that back over in there. Now, on the top housing, there's the bottom part of this gear, and then on the top housing I have got going on, I will have limit switches going on here, and since everything is so close here, I've had to use countersunk screws. As you can see, if I've been in front of the camera, will be a good idea. Countersunk screws. So basically, and you may also notice that I've actually done a mod to the swing bar for the limit switch. I've actually added a bit of aluminium to the top, a bit of flat, rivet into the end, hooked over the end of that, and that just allows the limit switch to activate. You actually see it will just come through it. You'll see more as I get things assembled. So that's that. I'm putting the potentiometer inside. Since we now have limit switches, the potentiometer has to go, the motor start capacitor, I should say, is going inside the rotator. I'm not a big fan of these, but it's a good quality one, so it's okay. And I'm also doing a mod to the bottom. I'm using this is a PC board that I've then made into the basis for the termination block. So basically it's these come in 36 way, and I just cut into 6. It's soldered to the back, and my wires will be soldered to those points. So this here is where the cable comes in. I'll just take this out of here for the present moment so I don't lose it. This actually sits in here like that. So your wire comes in, it splays out and goes back into those points, held down by 4 screws, and that one with an extra washer on it. And the base, these ones have a plastic base on them, and that covers everything up. There we go. So that's what we're up to on this one. So, and of course then I painted it flat black just to make it look a bit better. So I'll put that back into there, put that back over here. The motor itself was in pretty good condition, even though I pulled it apart and gave it a clean up. I've also done a test on it, and I noticed that the windings were vibrating a lot and moving around. So I've siliconed all those into position so they don't vibrate, because they were vibrating quite bad. So other than that, they're all okay. The ring gear is in good condition, and I've got my alignment marks on here already. So this is actually a new one. The original one was a bit crappy. So, and all the gears are in fairly good condition. So basically that's what we're up to with this. You've got the stacked gears for the final drive, the 2 spacers, and there's other gear there. There's a little bit of surface rust on those, but they're all okay. I'm using stainless steel mounting bolts for the lower mast bracket. So all in all, I'm going to get started assembling this, and then I'll be back. Oh, well, I might as well show you the actual controller before I go any further. So the controller that I'll be using is an old DAIWA one, which when I got it, someone had put this meter in here. I only recall these ones having a meter very similar to a KR-400. This meter looks very similar to a high gain control panel meter, because you can tell by the increments and everything, so it's wider. So basically I pulled it apart. Oops, there goes all the screws. That was a good trick. Probably lost one now. That'd be about bloody right. So I pulled it apart. They'd done a they did a really bodgy job on the wiring. So I put one of my PC boards in, my new PC boards for Chempros, which has the LED driver on board for the LED display. Rewired it, put a different transformer in, like one from a KR-400. It was just everything was pretty bodgily done. And I've used the original PC board to wire up for the to drive the displays, which is in the bottom. There's LED illumination in the bottom of this to illuminate up, and the LED on the front works, right and left, power and all that sort of stuff. So there we go. And I've refurbished the back screws. I've actually pulled all those old flat blade screws out, and I've put in these, and it focuses, these old flat and Phillips head ones. They come from a KL400. And I've also put an IAC socket in and an earth bolt, and we have the meter adjustment on the on the back now as well. So that's basically a 10k pot for that. So basically that is all there ready to go. So we shall move forward. Now you've seen that, and I shall be back forthwith with a progress on the assembly of this rotator. Back soon. Okay, we're back. I have now installed the limit switches, and if you listen very closely you can actually hear it. I'll have final adjustment when we get it all together. So as I said before, I've got to keep these totally flat. I've only got a very small gap to the top, so they're totally smooth there. I've actually now got the pot in with a 10-turn potentiometer, a wire wound. These things aren't exactly cheap, but whatever. And as I said before, it was all wired. The actual gear is already on. Since these things spin really easily, you can just push it on because there's no major force on the pot. It's fairly easy, free-flowing. So there we're up to that. I shall move on now to getting the... I'll do it down here. I've got to put the gears and everything on that next, and we'll be back. Catch you soon. Back. Rightio. Motor has been put in. I've just got to tighten the bolts up when I get the top plate on. I just thought I'd show you this looking in through there. Everything is a nice tight fit. So the pot and everything's in. Model drive gears are in. So there we go. Moving forward. Next thing, I'll put this top on, and then I'll start the wiring process. I'll be back. Okay, moving on. Righto, I've now done the wiring. So basically to the limit switches. And I've gone down through the actual side of the motor because there's plenty of room now, and I put a spacer and some heat shrink around the wire out through the bottom and to the motor start capacitor, and then I've got wires here out, so the brown and the green are going out to the terminal block, and then of course we have the 3 wires for the potentiometer as well. So basically, yes, we're moving on. So now I can actually get things into the chassis and then get the terminal block wired in, and then we can get things finalised. I'll be back. Hey, rightio, the wiring is now complete, and as I said before, wiring is attached straight to the back of the terminal block, as you can see there. And I have to separate these because there's a little stopper just down in, we can't see it. There's a bit of a support just down in there, so we've got to get past that. It's all good. We can now move on. Getting close. I'll be back. Beauty. I now have it in the bottom housing, and it has been pushed up and had all the bottom terminal plate put in. So that's all good. And I've done my preliminary alignments and checked all the end stops and everything, and I've adjusted those, so they're all good. I had to give them a bit more. It was running pretty close down to the potentiometer, so I've actually, these have nearly 10 degrees overlap either side of south, say. So I had to reduce that a little bit, so because the potentiometer was nearly running out. So there we go, we're there. Now I'm just going to grease the bearing tracks up, put bearings on, and move forward. We shall be back. Beauty. We now have all the bearings in, the top cage in, all greased. I've actually already greased the bottom track, so the bearing ring is in, or the ring gear I should say. I'll get that right in a minute. It's been a long day. So there we go. So now I'm going to put the top housing. Oh, I might try to do that right now. So we'll get our alignment marks. We've got our alignment mark, which is on here, and working behind the camera. See if I can get that to go down. I got it. Not a problem. Okay, I'm going to put the bottom bearings in and put the bearing ring on. I'll be back. Okay, we are done. There's the rotator all together. I've wired it up to do a show you it working. So we'll put that back down there. Try not to squash the cable. And we'll bring the actual controller up as I showed you before. The controller, it's actually wired as well, and I just wanted to see if we can see the LED illumination. I've got 4 LEDs, 2 there and 2 down there, rectangle ones shining up. It's not ideal, but it's got illumination, so let's see if we can see it working. There we go. So we can show it working. So we'll slide him back, and we're at the north point, as you can see with my indications on the actual rotator. It's up north there on the indicator. So let's just take it for a quick, whoops, I can get tangled up on that. Take it for a quick run around. And the good thing about these multi-turn potentiometers, they're very, very stable. It's not jumping all over the countryside, the meter. So we can just stop and start, and it goes just past the actual south point because there's a wider overlap. So when we get to south, I'll stop it right on south, and we have our mark there for south. We're right on south, and this will go past south. by that far, like 5 degrees or whatever else. And we'll take it back to north again, just to show you it working. And this thing will be up for sale once I get this all packaged up and whatnot and finish it off. So yeah, it's been an interesting little job to do, had to be done. So we're up to west now. Yeah, I timed the actual rotation. It's 120 seconds exactly in rotation time, so it's a pretty slow little rotator. So yeah, it just, yeah, that's 2 minutes. So 2 minute rotation time, as you can see, it's pretty slow. Okay, there we are, back to north again. Rightio, all done and dusted. We shall catch you in the next video. Hopefully I'll do another one again soon. I'm sorry for it being a bit of a long wait for this video to come up. Okay, catch you later. Have a good one.